Hit subscribe so that you don't miss another update from India Film Project.
The guest that we have today on this show, he happens to be a very cool director. I've seen him in coolest of avatars. He's a very regular and quirky Twitterati. His love for Kolkata is well known to all. He has done his engineering and MBA from Manchester University. He is not a very formally trained filmmaker, and yet he has won National Award for Best Original Screenplay. He has won Best Director, Filmfare Award. He has won awards for scripts, he has won awards for various other aspects, and interesting award being, he has won the hottest producer of the year by Stardust. The coolest cum hottest guest for today, Mr. Sujoy Ghosh on the sets. Sir, a very warm welcome.
Thank you.
I was very eager to know how would you appear on the sets of India Film Project today, and as we expected in those coolest of avatars, you're here, and we have some amazing questions to actually shower you with. We begin with the first.
Not tough questions.
Not at all.
Okay, tab theek hai.
Absolutely chilled out and cool like how you are, sir. Wherever we find cricket fans, they have a tagline, a power-packed tagline that resonates in their heart, which is penned by you. How did you get that interesting job by KKR?
Oh, okay. Actually, the credit should go to Vishal Dadlani.
Okay.
Because I think what happened, Mr. Khan had approached Vishal to do the theme for KKR. And I'm the only Bengali he probably knew at that point of time, such is his bad luck. So he came to me and he said, give me something to put, a Bengali hook, the so-called word being hook. So we just came up with that. There was no rocket science to that. And the first line I think we did was saying, Khelbo, Lodbo, Jitbo. We'll play, we'll fight, we'll win. Right. But Vishal said, no, Khelbo doesn't sign rice, you kuch aur de. So that's how Korbo came in. And we did Korbo, Lodbo, Jitbo. And Shahrukh was very happy with it, I think. So it's still there. So I'm assuming they're happy with it.
We just discussed about your cricket connection, but a lot of few aspirational filmmakers might be aware of your stock market connection.
Stock market, that was rosy roti. Because पेट चलाने के लिए बहुत कुछ करना पड़ता है, and right now I'm making films for that. No, stock market is very simple. I did my studies, and then I was working for a company called Reuters. And we had set up it was a very nascent stage, we had set up an office in Bombay. And I think that time the trading flows were still, chillam and all that. So we started in that process of automating stock exchanges. And that's how Reuters got involved. We have a lot of dealing systems. And that's it. I was just selling,
so that was your first
helping
job?
to automate stock exchange and selling dealing systems to banks. Bas, पेट के लिए करना पड़ता है.
A creative director who has been associated with stock market and their strategies. How was Sujoy Ghosh as a kid, as a child? How were you like?
I think I was just an average child. I was born in Kolkata. I studied in Kolkata in a school called St. James. And then I went off to UK, where I saw many new things, like a television. जो देख के मेरे चक्षु टेढ़े हो गए. I thought, wow, what a thing. And a lot of books, because we didn't have anything else, We didn't have other forms of entertainment. And we didn't have the luxury of money to go to see a movie every day. But we did have the luxury of having a library in the vicinity. So we read a lot. We cycled a lot.
During your struggling phase,
Yeah.
I'm sure you might have used up all your savings. getting a producer on board being the most difficult task a filmmaker would ever face. Who used to be the one person in your family or friends or relatives who supported you with finances?
I think my ma, she supported me. But I think, when all of us struggles, whether it's me or anybody in my shoes, the family plays a huge part which we don't realize. We just take them for granted and we say, अरे आपका तो ये काम ही है, support करना आपका तो काम ही है, suffer करना आपका तो काम ही है, live like that while we go out and make merry for ourselves. So I think it's quite important if you're struggling, just to remember when you're not struggling that those people stood by you.
You ran away with your wife Vaishali and you got married to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a psychologist and she's tuned into us right now.
Okay.
If you have to flatter her, going back to those memory lanes right now on the screen, what would that be like?
I'll ask her, I don't know, what. We've been together too long, 28 years, we have been together for 28 years. So I don't know what to ask her right now.
Has she been the first listener to your stories drafts, the first draft that you write? And is she the first one whom you call up and tell her that, hey, this is what I've come up with?
Unfortunately, no. Okay, she might think she was. Okay, did I just tune up right now, Vaishali, if you're watching?
So how often do you Skype Agni? Because he's not studying here in India, he's abroad in the university.
Both my kids are abroad. I don't Skype him much because unfortunately, their work timings are different. So when I wake up, they're sleeping. When I go to sleep, he's working. So obviously he can't. So we try and meet as much as possible.
Like how a director cannot choose his favorite film, it being his babies.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you choose out of the two. Whom do you associate more with, Diya or Agni?
I think I associate with my daughter more.
Right. She's the younger one?
No, she's the older one.
Okay.
But my son has a very strong mind of his own. He's like his grandfather. So. And I think the time has come where when I see the youth of today, I feel I'm so out of knowledge, I think they are much more mature and much more advanced and much more confident than what I used to be at their age. So because, when I'm talking to my son or my daughter, I forget how inept I was at their age, So
Really, they are so well exposed these days.
Yeah. So, it's amazing. They're so confident.
If we come to the next question, you don't look your age. You look very fit. So the straight question
Can we record this and send to my wife? Yeah. Please.
She's all
Alag se
right
capsule
away.
bana ke just on a repeat loop. Just send it to my wife. Yeah. Okay.
So you look like a fitness freak, are you?
Not really.
That's
but
in your DNA?
No, not even DNA. I do runs. I do try and run whenever I can. But it's good to be fit, I think. I think if you have a fit, if you run, it really helps you to think.
You said you grew up with a lot of books around. Theatre of mind ko thoda sa agar hum ignite kare. If you have to describe your library, what would be those 3 prominent books which were visible then when you were a little kid and that influenced you the most? Writers like.
Okay, I can't do it by books, not but I can do it by authors. Okay, I think I'll have Jules Verne, I'll have Enid Blyton, I'll have a lot of comics book like Asterix and Tintins. I'll have a lot of Bengali authors like Hemendra Kumar Rai, I don't know if you know Niharanjan Gupta, Satyajit Ray, who wrote a lot of those exciting stories, adventure stories, detective stories, murder mysteries. So that was childhood, that was growing up. Sharadindu Bandyopadhyay, who wrote a lot of historical stuff.
So coming to stories, you, I believe, have been very close to your grandmother. So, wo Dadi Maa Ki Kahaniyan part of Sujoy Ghosh, did it help you become what you are today? Does it play a role?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if my grandmother's stories helped me or it's my grandmother. And she was a very important part of my life. So, probably the only person I ever listened to. And she used to tell me a lot of stories. And so, when I was trying to, tell a story to you, to my audience, I tried to do it like how she used to do it, So, I would be captivated in hearing.
Personal attributes that you consider one should foster to become a very good filmmaker. And how do you foster those attributes as a good filmmaker for yourself, the homework that you do?
See, filmmaking is a team effort. It's a joint art. It's not a singular thing where I can say, maine ye picture bana. It's always hum. Have you seen hum? It's always hum. It's never main. And it depending on which faculty of filmmaking you're in. I'm in, for example, in the faculty of directing. And I think for a directing, the trick is to be a very good manager. Because as a director, my main job description is to bring out the best in my whole team, whether you're my editor, whether you're my cinematographer, whether you're my actor, whether you're my writer.
Yes.
I just have to support you. I don't have to teach you, I don't have to tell you how to do it, but I think it's very important to support my faculty. So, I think you have to be a good manager to bring out the best. So, that's the key thing.
Have you been a very strict director? Like when you have
No.
the kind of actors that you've worked with,
Yeah.
you've produced Amitabh Bachchan's teen, or it could be Vidya Balan, the stretcher of actors that you've, starting from Jhankaar Beats, Juhi Chawla you have directed. So have you ever been strict about the timeline or discipline, the basic hygiene on the sets? Has it ever been a problem for you?
Not really, no, because all these, I've been very fortunate, and I don't say this diplomatically or politically, right? I have been very fortunate to work with people who has a lot of respect for this craft, okay? Case in point, let's say a Vidya Balan or an Amitji. When they are on set, they are an actor or an actress, and they are willing to, believe you. Even if they don't believe what you believe, but they'll still believe you and they'll do what you ask them to do. So, in most cases, I have, got this.
So what is that unoffensive way to tell an actor like the Vidya Balan or the Amitabh Bachchan, or that this is not how I want you to present yourself in this particular scene? So what is the trick which you would want to suggest to the aspirational filmmakers? How do you manage that part? That's difficult to tackle, I believe.
No, but I think you should, because that's what they're also expecting from you. Vidya is expecting you to cue her.
So any instance which you particularly remember where you might have differences of opinion and then you might have convinced her in a very nice and polite way?
I try not to do that. I try to bring out instances. I don't know if you have seen Kahani.
Yes, I have. Of course I have.
There's a scene in Kahani where after she finds out that Rana has been a double agent, so she gets very upset with him. He's just standing in the corridor and she just walks past him.
Yes.
And I wanted that feeling of despise, that hurt, that despise. So she was not getting it, and because I know Vidya very well, so I told her, how disgusted you are with me sometimes when you really hate me and you don't like me at all, just pretend I am there, or tu aise chal kya. And she did that. It was perfect. So you have to just bring out, see, because in filmmaking, at the end of the day, we are just playing with some basic emotion. Wahi gussa, wahi pyar, wahi sadness. So we just keep
those moments of
chopping and changing and turning and twisting and work with those.
Making of Kahani, where she has tagged you mad and you've tagged her insane. So those moments you...
Balan is another kettle of fish,
Okay. Since we just don't have a producer and director, but we also have a writer sitting in front of us, what language do you write your scripts in, and who fine-tunes it once you write the basic draft?
Language is English. Every time it works like this, if I have an idea, I have a there are few people we started together. There's an individual called Suresh Nair. and there's an individual called Ritesh Shah. We started our career, in Jhankaar. I dragged Suresh out of Bombay Times to write dialogues for Jhankaar.
Okay.
So if I have an idea, I share it with them, and then we create a story. So if you're a writer, the first thing you need to do is probably create a DVD cover. Like how there's a little spiel at the end of a DVD cover.
Right.
So you read the DVD cover and you decide, yes, मुझे picture देखनी है, नहीं देखनी है. And if that is interesting, then you go ahead and do a little more story than that. Like write a 4-pager out, because it's important to have the story before you can tell the story. Samjha na? So as a director, my job is to tell the story, and as a writer, my job is to create the story. So first I create the story as a writer, and then as a director, then I embark upon the screenplay, which is how I want to tell the story.
You've never assisted anybody.
No.
The plain slate that you entered Bollywood into, and now with so many awards on your shelf. So if you have to suggest the aspirational filmmakers about that part, the learning phase, what would that be like?
You have to be very clear as to what you want to be. If you want to be a director, you find that story you want to tell. You spend your time because at the end of the day, no matter how big a star I am or how big a director I am, or if you don't have a script, you don't have a film. So you have to find that right script for yourself. Script, अगर मुझे पसंद है मैं आपको पैसा दूंगा, अगर नहीं आया तो टाटा बाय बाय.
So here we are going to build a scene where we are going to give you a character, a location and a property.
Okay.
We begin with it. Okay, I have 3 options for you. Character, fisherman. Location is a lake.
Okay.
And property is a pen.
A pen.
Fisherman, a lake and a pen.
The most boring thing would be a fisherman on a boat in the middle of a lake writing poetry with his pen. But as he's writing poetry, he suddenly realizes that the fishing rod is wavering, right? So something is stuck, and he thinks it's a fish, and he brings it out, and it's some kind of a monster which he uses his pen to kill.
Theatre of mind again.
I don't know. It's a horrible.
Somebody killing somebody with a pen is quite out of box.
Yeah, but pen is quite sharp, no?
So you want me to put a sword as a property then?
No, pen is good. The pen is mightier than the sword.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, and now the last section of this particular segment called Build a Scene, and here we take 2 very, very interesting characters that you've built for your films.
Okay.
Ahalya, Radhika Apte wala character,
Ji.
and Bob Biswas. If they meet in a Mumbai local train, what would be their conversation like?
I think Radhika would ask Bob if she can borrow his mobile, and Bob will say, "1 minute," and he'll get the hell out of there before he turns into stone.
And after Build a Scene, the next segment that we have is Getting Real. I heard you saying somewhere that Kahani 2, it came out of a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
So what was the story like?
Chaos, I don't know if you've seen Kahani 2, it's a very strong subject which was not initially welcomed by all. See, that's what happens with me, irrespective of whatever my past is, whether success or a failure. Every script of mine has to go through a struggle. And
so you had to fight for survival?
First for survival,
right?
yeah. Even the same thing happened with Kahani 2, where we had to make people believe this is a story which needs to be told.
After winning a national award for Kahani 1, is that difficult?
Yeah, because it touched a very sensitive issue like child abuse. So, and you have to understand, at the end of the day, film is a commercial business. Okay, somebody who's investing money would want to invest money in something which allows them to at least keep their money safe, if not increase it. So that's it, that's the struggle. It was a complete chaos in terms of kaise hoga, kya karenge, getting the locations, getting this, getting that. It was a nightmare of a situation, and also it was a very strong subject. We also had to live with it. We also had to be very careful with it. We also had to. It was very disturbing for all of us to go through that. So it was great fun. I mean, not great fun in terms of, but that was the chaos, you know, through which we created Kahani, and I felt that film had to, you know, fight for its own survival. You know,
So, if we say that pre-Kahani 1, post-Kahani 1, pre-Kahani 2 and post-Kahani 2.
Yeah.
Sujoy and Vidya Balan, as they come out as best of friends, the graph has not been very even. It has been up and down and up and down and up and down, and
it will continue to be up and down.
So, where is the graph now?
It's like my editor says, अभी पूर्णिमा है, अमावस कभी भी हो सकता है. I quote and unquote Namrata Rao.
Do you feel the pressure or responsibility on your shoulders, wherein I also very strongly believe, and people should believe, that directors are the one who can change the mindset of the society?
You can try, definitely. You must have something to say. I agree with that. I don't know if you can change the mindset of the society. I think you should at least try to say it. It's very important to say something. It will be, whatever it is, you know, you have to say something. You can't sit on the fence if you're making a film. So a lot of time what happens when you cannot express certain things for whatever reason, socially or publicly, as an individual, you can always express your view through your films.
So what is that one best part of all your films? It could also be home delivery in Aladdin, which are not received as beautifully as how Jhankaar Beats and rather Kahani was. It could be out of any of your films. It could also be out of your short film Ahalya. That one particular scene or a concept or an aspect or a progressive thought that you have conveyed and you are very proud about it, that, you know, that's what I love about myself. What is that?
As proud, I think it has to be Kahani 2, where I feel we must be a little more attentive towards our children. And that's because I am a parent, I have my own children, and so I think it's very important to take care of our future, you know, like, because a lot of things happen around us which we turn a blind eye to, and I think more than me, I think it's the way Vidya conveyed that message in the film. I'm extremely grateful to her for that, you know.
Whenever you watch a film which has a Bengali backdrop, we've always seen Durga Puja. But when it comes to Sujoy Ghosh's Durga Puja scene, technically it was so sharp. While the Visarjan was happening, there were some thousands of people, and you have the Vidya Balan, whom you shot in real. It was not a created scene.
No.
So, you know, those पर्दे के पीछे वाली बातें, behind the scenes, I'm sure it might have been the task. Other than it saving you a lot of budget, while shooting also there might be some very interesting instances that you might have faced.
But see, all this credit that you're giving to me is actually Sethu's, the cameraman, my DOP. You know, he's the one who did that. A lot of credit goes to that club, Baliganj Cultural, you know, who allowed us to shoot real time. You know, they actually delayed the Visarjan by a few hours so we could shoot. The crowd, which was very good, and I will tell you a very interesting incident that what happened. So you know, Vidya comes in, she walks, and we are really shooting it through the whole thing, and we have taken a lot of shot and everything, and we didn't have money to buy a big monitor, so we had this little chotu monitor. And my art director came, Kaushik, you know, my art director came, Kaushik, and I told Kaushik, this is the thing, and he said, what rubbish is this? I said, what do you mean, what rubbish is this? He said, why is she just walking in the crowd? And then I said, what do you mean, she's just, but she's looking as if she's just walking in the crowd. And I said, what do you mean? He said, there's no reason on her face. And I suddenly realized in this whole, you know, there was so much chaos and camera and crowd, I completely forgot to check that one aspect, right? And I forgot to tell Vidya to do certain things. And again, we had to reshoot the whole thing, because, see, that's why I'm saying, you know, so a lot of credit that you give to me actually belongs to my team.
So how did the crowd react?
Oh,
to
they're
this?
very good. Yeah, they all treat Vidya like God. You know, they love us so much. So all of them were so cooperative. You've seen the crowd, right?
Vidya was with that, pregnant belly, and she's walking amidst those. People might not just understand what's happening because.
But they were so cooperative, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
There was
Kolkata.
some thousands of people there, and they're all so nice. So.
Wow. Okay. Now, as far as getting real is concerned, we have some tweets about you, which people have put across, and your reaction on it. We take it up?
Yeah. Come.
All right. So when we have Sujoy Ghosh, the first search that shows on Google, you've made so many feature films.
What is that first solar? I haven't done anything to do with solar.
That's what people have searched about you.
Okay.
Sir, so that's what I'm coming to, that we have a director who has won a national award for his scripts and screenplay and critics award and whatnot. He's made 4-5 feature films, and then when you search, the first search that comes is short film. So what's your reaction on that?
Yahi naseeb hai yaar. No, I'm happy. I'm happy what Ahalya did. I think it did. I'm very happy for the position that Ahalya took for herself and the opportunity it gave to others, and so I'm very happy.
So India Film Project has a community of around 6 lakh short filmmakers across 20 countries.
Wow.
So those people who are watching us, they would
Yeah.
want to know when is Ahalya 2 coming, and your little tips for them.
Ahalya 2 will take a little bit of time. We are making another film called Anukul right now.
Yes,
It's
I
a
read
little short
about
film
it.
based on a Satyajit Ray story. Short film, you have to think through it. It's much tougher than a feature film, both in terms of the technical platform, both in terms of the story content. So there's millions and millions of short films on the YouTube, right?
Yes.
And on the internet, on other various platforms.
Yes.
So you have to think through why you're making this short film. What is it trying to say? Whether it's going to connect. It's $1 million question, and go for it.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
The next tweet for you.
Yeah, I mean, you like some, you don't like some, and what to do? Cool, I'm okay with it. You don't have to like everything.
We have read
Kahani,
your
Kahani was
conversation.
such a top film.
Yes, it was.
Because Kahani is not really my film. Kahani is actually Makul. People like Makul who went and made Kahani into Kahani. I just made a film. The audience made it into Kahani. And I was hoping the same with Kahani too. But if he feels like that, what can I say? Yeah, he has totally entitled to feel.
The next tweet.
Okay, yeah, it's the last shot, of the film. That's there's a lot of emotion attached to it. When you're when you grow up in Kolkata, Pujo is when Ma comes. And then the whole 4 days you're completely unaware of the whole thing, and suddenly you realize it's time to her to leave.
Yes.
And that's the last shot which remains with all of us, her immersing in the water, and that's what I wanted to show in the film. That's a very personal shot, and I didn't know whether it will work or not, but yeah, that's why it's so close to the heart.
The guy has a very interesting Twitter handle, Open Highway, who managed to take that particular scene out of the film.
Okay. You know where that yes, thank you comes from.
Vishal Dadlani works for free for Sujoy Ghosh. Is that true?
Yeah.
All time?
Yeah.
Even after Sujoy
Even Shekhar
Ghosh?
Avjani. What? Why will I pay
both
them?
Both of them, Vishal, Shekhar, both
yeah, why
of
will I
them.
pay them?
They've been your friends?
No, they're my brothers. Yeah. Why will I pay them?
Oh.
No, actually, yeah, they do. They do.
So, sir, would we ever have you on the screen, not behind the scene?
Kadapi nahi.
No more?
No. I did it once, and I think it was a great experience. More than anything, to work with Rituparna Ghosh, who I still feel is one of the best, finest writer director we'll ever have. But it's a very tough job. It's a very lonely job. It's a job where you don't have support of others. So I rather other people do it. let Vidya do it, let Amitji do it. Let me be behind the camera where I get support from other people. Yeah.
All right. The next round being in a jiffy. So we have some quick questions for you and we have the timer on. We begin with the first. If you were granted one superpower, what should that be?
I think to fly.
Your weakness.
Food.
Craziest thing which you would want to do.
For me, it's going to be jumping out of a plane.
The last person you spoke to over the phone before you entered the India Film Project sets.
It's to Param.
Who out of all the actors would be an ideal date for Sujoy Ghosh?
I don't know. I would have loved to meet, not on a date, but I would have loved to meet Meryl Streep.
The next book that Sujoy is going to read.
Okay, I have to read a Jack Reacher book. I have just been given this assignment. So I have to go and read that book.
Who is the assignment giver?
Yeah, this one of my writers called Nikhil Vyas, he's telling me to read this, so I have to go and read it, which is really no, not Jack Reacher. Sorry, what am I saying? I have to read Bear Island by Alistair MacLean.
First there and then the other one.
Yeah, Bear Island I have to read by.
Roshagulla versus Sandesh. What would Sujoy prefer first?
I would go for Sandesh, but the Notun Guder variety.
Best gift you ever received?
All my books. Anybody who gives me a book.
How many times have you watched the timeless classic Aparajito?
4 or 5 times, I must.
Your 3 a.m. friend from the industry.
No, my 3 a.m. friend actually is my son.
Is your son?
Yeah, because he's awake at that time in the UK.
You balanced.
Yeah.
You voted for your daughter first and now it's Agni.
Yeah, so that's the time he gets off his work, you see, so I can call him.
Bollywood director according to you who is ahead of times?
The only person I think who was ahead of his time was one gentleman called Raj Khosla. If you see his film, I just feel they were really progressive. So that's the only person who comes to my mind.
Do you cry while watching films?
Do I cry? Yes, sometimes. If it's a good cryable film, I do cry. Tapak, tapak.
Writing versus direction versus acting versus production.
Writing.
If you have to send a tweet to Mamta Banerjee, what would that be?
I won't know the exact thing, but I'll have to thank her for all the support that she gives me. Honestly, man, everything put aside, without her support, I could have done all these things that you tell me to do, you know. The incredible support I get, it's it just comes, you know. There's nothing in return also, which is really nice. The amount of respect they have, not just for filmmaking, but people like Amitji, people like Vidya, which is incredible.
Rekha ji.
Please work with me.
Shirish Kundar.
Shirish, yeah, Shirish, when is he going to, he's a kick-ass editor, you know. I wish, apart from, and because he's an editor, he's a good director. So I want him back, you know.
As an editor.
Yeah, as an editor, as a director, so he should come back. He's been hibernating. So,
With the triplings around.
yeah.
Alright, the next segment where if you have to make a remake of an existing film, whom would you cast? Mr. India.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Chati 420?
I would actually go with Ranveer Singh.
Kahani 2, if not Vidya, then who?
Kareena Kapoor.
If the following films were to be remade, what would you change out of those films? Titanic.
No, I'm not worthy to change anything in Titanic, man. I you know, we all went to see Titanic in Leicester Square, and then we saw Titanic, and there was a stunning silence after the film. Everybody walked out of the hall. Ek shabd bhi kahin kuch nahi hai, yeah. That film is.
Sholay.
Again, you're asking for these films. I talk about my film. I'll tell you. Sholay. What will I change in Sholay? Yeah, what can I? Possibly, I'll make Sholay longer. I'll put that song back in. Chand sa koi chehra na pehlu mein.
Aladdin.
I'll probably, if I had to change Aladdin, I'll probably set it back to where it was originally set, which is Kolkata.
The next round being On the Rocks. Here you have to rate the word I utter out of 10. Indian media.
I think they're very effective, so I'll go with 9.
Rajnikant movies.
7, 8,
Word of mouth.
10.
Smoking for Sujoy.
4,
Your driving skills?
10,
Rugby, Kung Fu, football and cricket.
0, 0, 0, 0. I'll even go -1, -1, -1, -1.
All right, the next round being I have never. So it's time for confession, where we have some extreme level of honesty being displayed out here. The first being drugs.
I have to go with I have never.
Sneaked out of your own movies.
No.
Have you ever got fired?
Yeah. Many times.
Slept while shooting?
No. We are not allowed to. I mean, we don't have that luxury. So I don't think anybody can, even if they want to.
Have you ever had a crush on any actor, actress you've been working with?
Crush, yes. You have to fall in love with everybody in order to get the best out of them.
Quickly name one.
All of them. I love all my actresses, but not in terms of love, but I have genuinely, I'm very fond of all my actresses. So.
As a school kid or as a director, have you ever copied?
Yes.
As a kid? As a student?
Yeah, as a student I have copied. I once copied whole of Saifi's maths paper. So, yeah.
All right, last but not the least, the next round is called Awards Round. And the first award which we would want to listen from you would be Most Unwanted Award category according to Sujoy Ghosh.
We break up films into, not films, rather the caliber of a actor into various segments, best actor in a comic role, best actor in a villainous role. I think those are most unwanted. Either you're an actor or, it should be.
Best animated movie you've watched in last 2-3 years, what would that
Last
be?
2-3 years, I'll tell you, this year, Moana.
Best short film in last 2-3 years?
I don't know if it's the best, but one I liked was that one Interior Night, the one with Nasir Ji
Interior
and
Night
Shahnaz
Cafe
Patel.
is
Yeah.
Worst accent award.
Yeah, I'll give it to Shekhar Ravjiani.
You're playing safe.
Yeah.
You got a friend out of your
Yeah,
pity and you placed
yeah.
him up. Okay, worst remake ever.
Probably Zanjeer, I didn't enjoy. Yeah.
Dream city where you would want to shoot your next project. It could be in India or abroad, anywhere.
I would like if I can write a script either in London or New York, but provided if I can set a film there.
All right, so for this particular round, we have a little thank you note and little memory that Sujoy Ghosh would carry along with him, and here it is, sir.
Hey, thank you.
Pleasure is all ours.
Thank you so much.
All right, a big thank you. It was absolute pleasure having you over the
Thank
set,
you.
sir. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so very much.
Thank you so much.